those allegations are now at the center of a lawsuit claiming the company's vice president went on an hour-long tirade attacking the company's products and employees before taking aim at its customers.
I am no expert in business. I am damn sure no expert in the soup business because Uncle KC rarely eats soup. And when I do eat soup, the soup I am consuming is coming from a restaurant. It's not coming from a can on the shelves at Walmart. Although I am no expert in business, I'm pretty sure it's not an effective business plan. It's not a good marketing strategy to have a company executive taking a verbal turd on your customers. To make matters worse, the company executive decides to verbally relieve himself before your biggest holidays of the year. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Fortunately for Campbell's, this scandal hasn't affected their stock price yet. We will see how it affects company sales throughout the holiday season, but this ain't good. There is no amount of polish that can disguise the stink on this turd. I find it unbelievable that seemingly smart people find themselves in these situations. Martin Bally, the dude you're about to hear in these clips, he is the vice president of information technology at Campbell's Soup. He's the computer guy. He's the chief dork. He was the kid in middle school who was calculating the trigonometry on the Rubik's Cube. The other boys were passing notes to girls in class. Do you want to go to the sock hop with me? Yes or absolutely. While the other boys are trying to get with girls, Marty was over there in the corner trying to figure out the Pythagorean theorem. On paper, Marty Bally appears to be a smart dude, which is why I find it unbelievable that the vice president of information technology would allow himself to be recorded making fun of Campbell's customers while also criticizing the company's products. It's unbelievable that the VP of IT would allow himself to be busted on a technological device. You know, when you look at a lot of these public scandals, hell, when you look at problems in your own life, the vast majority of problems are caused when people can't keep their damn mouth shut. People talk too much. How many times have you had an argument with your wife that was caused by something stupid that you said? Maybe she comes home from the salon and you say, "What happened to your hair?" I know what won't be happening later. My junior year of high school, I was taking a useless class. I think it was Algebra 2. It was one of those classes where adults tried to convince you that you needed it. But even at 16 years old, you knew that you would never use that garbage in real life. We were coming up on midterms, and one of my friends said, "Don't worry about studying. I'm going to get the midterms canceled." Yeah. Sure. Next morning, about an hour before we were supposed to take our midterm in Algebra 2, the principal announces over the intercom that school is canceled for the rest of the day. "Everyone get the hell out of here! We're calling in the dogs! There could be a bomb in the building!" Obviously, there was not a bomb in the building. My friend had called in a bomb threat, which, believe it or not, this was somewhat common at the time. If you were in high school in the late 90s, early 2000s, I'm sure you can relate to what I'm talking about. Long story short, the principal, along with the cops, they suspected that my friend was responsible for calling in the threat. He was the prime suspect. A group of 2 or 3 of us, we were questioned. When he was eventually charged, we had to testify in juvenile court. But the charges were eventually dropped. Why? Because none of us talked. We didn't betray him. I have known him since we were 2 years old. We still talk some to this day. I wasn't about to betray him. I knew he wasn't dangerous. He was a dumbass, but he wasn't dangerous. My dad had always told me, you don't rat out, you don't betray your friends. Nowadays, you have got to be very, very careful with your yapper. If you're a company executive, you shouldn't say anything that you don't want the entire world knowing. You should always assume you're being recorded. Unfortunately, Martin Bally was unable to control his mouth. He unleashed an emotional tirade against his own company, and more than likely, it's going to cost Marty his job, his career. Nominations are still open for the upcoming 3rd annual Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards next month. We have a handful of heavyweight contenders battling for the prestigious honor of being 2025's most embarrassing failure. If you have someone you want to nominate, shoot me an email, btlkc84@gmail.com. Robert Garza was a former cybersecurity analyst at Campbell's Soup. I would assume Mr. Garza was a subordinate to Martin Bally. At some point, Bob Garza was in a meeting with Marty Bally. I guess Marty was having a bad day. Maybe he didn't like his job. Maybe he was having problems at home. Perhaps he was going through relational issues with his inflatable girlfriend. Whatever the case, Marty Bally unleashed an emotional tirade against his company and their customers. But there was just one problem. Robert Garza decided to record the entire meeting. Sometime after the meeting, Robert Garza filed a complaint against his boss. Now, I don't know if he revealed the entire recording. I don't know the details of the complaint, but according to a lawsuit that was filed by Bob Garza last week, he was fired after he filed the complaint. In fairness to Campbell's, I'm assuming, or at least I hope, we are missing key details to this story. Once you hear this recording, I cannot imagine that Campbell's would fire the guy recording the tirade, instead of firing the company executive who unleashed the tirade. Also, there are questions. There's some speculation as to whether the recording is legitimate. With Robert Garza being a cybersecurity analyst, I'm assuming he's skilled with technology. Maybe he is capable of doctoring a recording to make his boss look incompetent and uncontrollable. I don't know. What I do know is Robert Garza took his chatterbox to the Matlocks and filed a lawsuit against his former employer. The recording got leaked to the media, and Campbell's Soup is now suffering from a bruised caboose. Watch for yourself.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's not healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at it and look at me. Bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. You?
The Soup claiming Bally made racist remarks, admits to coming to work high, and Garza fired for coming forward.
They couldn't think for the I'm like, you dumb
They have a motto: we treat you like family. Here at Campbell's, come work for us. We treat our employees like family.
For starters, I know all these corporations and even small businesses, they do this too. I know they all say, we treat our employees like family. That's because we are one big happy family. Yippee! Your relationship with your employer is always transactional. It's conditional. You're supposed to love your family unconditionally, but that unconditional support, it does not translate to your corporate family. You're only part of the family if you produce. If you don't produce, you're fired. Hell, the only corporation I know of that treats their employees like family is the Saints and the Pelicans. And they do that to their own detriment. You know, from Campbell's perspective, you can get past a company executive bashing your customers. There's gonna be temporary outrage. You might take a temporary beating in the market, but eventually people will forget, or at least you hope they do. You can get past a company executive admitting that you're selling turds in a can. That's not sausage, that's processed poo! Are you gonna lose some customers? Sure. But eventually, people will forget. I mean, it's no secret at this point that a lot of food in the market is bad for you. We have known for decades that a daily diet of fast food is the fastest way to an early grave. But every time I ride by a McDonald's, the drive-thru line is backed up into the street. People are lining up to order something that almost resembles a hamburger. Of course, Campbell's is still trying to defend their poo soup. You have to remember, these comments were made by an executive in IT. He has no idea how we bioengineer our meat. Yeah. The problem here for Campbell's, a potential class action lawsuit from their employees. You can't have a company executive caught on tape demonizing his subordinates, insulting their intelligence based on their race. That could be a serious problem if the recording is legitimate. What's even more unbelievable, though, Martin Bally hasn't been fired. Instead of being fired, Campbell's put him on leave. They gave him a nice mandatory vacation for Thanksgiving. I guess they want to make sure they have enough cause to let him go. But if this recording is real, his poor judgment alone is cause enough to fire him. If you're a company executive, there's got to be some level of trust. And there's just no trusting anyone who can't control their yapper. You can't trust them with secrets, can't trust them with classified information. To make matters worse, Martin Bally allegedly has an affinity for the substances. Whether or not he's a boozer or whether or not he abuses substances, I don't know. But you damn sure can't have a company executive who intentionally loses temporary control of his mind. That dog won't hunt. I don't know. What do you guys think? Will this scandal be permanently damaging for Campbell's Soup? We have seen other major corporations go through scandals and never recover. Bud Light, Target, Cracker Barrel. But those scandals were a little different. Those companies embrace the woke wiener. With Campbell's, we have a company executive revealing what a lot of people already knew. I don't know. You guys tell me. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.